Hey guys, it's your girl Leslie, and today we're reading a new story that I really like. It is a vigilante deku story, basically Izuku Midoriya as a vigilante and how it all started. So this is the intro. This is chapter 1, guys. I personally really love this story. I've read it. There's still updates coming, but I really like it. It's constant. And sometimes, like, while we read, the author sometimes edits it, and we have to, like, go back. So, anyways, struggle is real, y'all. The struggle is real. But anyways, I would like to continue this story because it's personally one of my favorite vigilante stories. And, it gets pretty, like, sad going towards it. Like, it gets pretty sad. Not spoiling too much because I still love the story, and I'm going to go ahead and put a link down in the description down below so you guys can go check it out for yourselves. And one more thing. My birthday is in a couple days on March 27th, y'all. So wish me a happy birthday and wish me the best of luck so that the coronavirus will be over. Hopefully, because I want the coronavirus over. Like, literally, it's making me get the boringest days ever, and kind of hopefully not interrupting my summer, and causing everyone to have problems in high school, who was ever in high school or college. Anyways, y'all, we're gonna go ahead and continue this because I don't want to hear about how crazy and how my sanity's been slowly going away. I don't know. Some sanity came back when I cosplayed Dobby, and that was just weird. Makeup took forever to get out, though. And by the way, guys, at the end I will show you what my new and improved cards look like. My business cards. I will show you guys that at the end of the video. Anyways, let's continue. Intro. Chapter 1. He was 2 years old when he first started to admire heroes, unlike any other kid who was anxiously waiting for his or her quirk. He was 4 when he was declared quirkless, and was subjected to the bullying from all of his classmates, while his teachers didn't even bat an eye in his direction. He was 5 when he heard his father, being a fire-based pro hero working overseas, roaring over the telephone at having a quirkless, useless child. A waste of space, blaming Inko and her family's side for the weak quirks. He was 7 when his father finally came back home from overseas, and knowing that his son was quirkless, saw him covered in burns and bruises. His mother protecting him, and his father burnt down the house in his rage. The house roared into flames, and Inko had tried to hide her son in a cupboard as the support beam fell and snapped her spine as she was closing the door. Midoriya was 7 when he was declared dead to the world, having died in the flames along with the rest of the Midoriya household. Midoriya woke up, sitting in a pile of ashes. He rubbed his head as his eyesight felt fuzzy. Slowly the ringing in his ears had disappeared, and he sat up, groaning. He looked at his surroundings. He knew where he was. He recognized it. He was in a very remote area, where only gangsters and stranglers roamed. He had no idea what had happened from when he felt near the searing heat of the fire licking against his skin, to how he ended up in some alleyway. It was obvious that the house had exploded, seeing as he was a quite distance from his home. It was then when he registered the stinging pain in his shoulder. Grabbing it, he winced as he realized that there was a piece of metal stuck in his shoulder. Either a pipe or some metal reinforcement from the house. He was lucky that with all of his classmates and Kachan's bullying, he had built up a decent amount of pain tolerance. Still, that didn't stop him from hissing in pain as he jerked the metal pole out of his shoulder. He was lucky that it just tore the muscle, and it didn't break any bones. Suddenly, a scream rang out in the air, and another lucky break for the green bean. He was wearing a hoodie. Even though some of it was black and burnt, he was able to pull his hood over his face as he gripped the metal pipe tightly, slowly treading over to investigate. He found a woman pinned against the wall, as the man held a knife against her throat. He wanted to scream, to yell for help, but he quickly covered his mouth. Yelling would probably startle the man, and he might hurt her on accident. Then all of a sudden, he didn't know why he moved, but his feet just did. A pipe in hand, he whacked the man against the skull. Okay, that sounds really wrong. Pipe in hand, he whacked it against the man's skull. He didn't even see what had hit him as he crumbled to the ground, groaning. The man quickly got up, and his arm transformed into a hammer. As he snarled, attempting to smash the boy into sludge. Horrified, the small boy took a step back, then another, before he gave a yelp and fell down. He watched as the man saw closer to him, before suddenly something latched into his neck as he was forced to look upwards. Aizawa Shota was thinking. There he was, perching over an alleyway. He saw a man holding a woman at knife point and wanted to step in. However, he did not know how to do that without accidentally injuring the woman, since scaring the man might make him accidentally slit the woman's throat. He eyed the boy in the corner as he covered his mouth. Must be her son. But that thought vanished as the boy ran out, smashing the man's head with a pipe as he went down. Eyeing the man carefully, Aizawa realized that he wasn't knocked out. As he got up against and transformed his arm into a hammer, the boy had fallen as he tried to get away. But Aizawa focused on the villain. He wouldn't waste the opportunity that the boy had given him. He jumped down into the alleyway as he latched his capture weapon around the villain's neck and shot down. His boots kissing the villain's face. He eyed the small boy just to make sure he was okay, but he saw two large green eyes eyeing him. He quickly changed his focus as the man tried to get up to smash him, but Aizawa just activated his quirk and smacked the man into the wall, knocking him out. He made sure the villain was really out cold, as the woman had already dialed the police, as was screaming at the top of her lungs. When he turned around to find the boy, he was gone. Eraserhead. He had seen Eraserhead, the underground hero who worked in the shadows and undercover of the night. Normally, he would have been ecstatic, but he couldn't bring himself to be happy that he had seen such a rare fight. His mom was dead. He had seen her die. His father was the one that tried to kill them both. Midoriya stopped earning as he leaned against the wall for support, panting, trying to get as much air into his lungs as possible. His brain seemed to have finally started up, and his mind started to process what he'd just seen. Eraserhead's quirk can cancel out any quirk, probably except mutant types, because they're extra limbs. He fights using his capture weapon, speed and agility, immobilizing the target before getting close into strike. Eraserhead fights quirkless. That last thought rang in his head. He blinked, trying to process what he just realized. Eraserhead's quirk only cancels out quirks, but that just evens out the playing field. He just makes the fight into a quirkless one. A small grin appeared on his face. His mom was dead. His dad was probably a criminal by now, but he had hope that he could become a hero. Just because society won't accept a quirkless hero doesn't mean I can't save anyone. Eraserhead sighed as he closed the door. His roommate, Yamada Hajide, the orange banana, looked up from the table as he sipped a cup of tea. You okay, Shota? You don't look so good. I'm fine. I just saw A kid. A kid? Yamada frowned, putting down the newspaper he was reading. I thought you hated kids. That's why you complained about having to homeroom a first-year class, weren't you? Aizawa turned to his blonde friend, grunting. I don't know. There was this guy holding a woman at knife point, and I was trying to figure out how to get the guy without hurting the woman, by accident, when he just ran and smacked the guy with a metal pole. I was busy dealing with the guy, and whenever I was done, he was gone. So, could he be her son? Yamada suggested. He massaged his temples. I thought so too at first. Any normal kid would just run away, or scream. But it seemed like he covered his mouth to prevent himself from making a sound. Like he knew that startling the man might make him hurt her. He was small. Pretty small. He looked like to be 6 or 7 years old. Too young to know how to react in situations like that. Who knows, maybe he has an analysis quirk or a high IQ quirk or something. Yamada shrugged again, patting his friend on the back. Midoriya was a fast learner. He was quickly able to analyze fighting styles just by looking at them. He found the strength, the weaknesses, and how possibly to improve them without as much as a glance. Actually, learning how to fight was a problem, since he normally never did as much throw a punch whenever he got bullied. Since he started training himself from a younger age, Midoriya was very flexible. He could do splits, and all sorts of other stretches that others found it hard to do, and also realized he was double-jointed, and making him unusually flexible, and made it a lot easier for him as he leaped and rolled on and about on rooftops. He already learned a bit of parkour, mostly from people he had seen doing it before, and a bit of trial and error that resulted in him in breaking his fingers and dislocating his shoulders. He currently resided in Dublica, whatever that big name, beach park, surrounded by tons of junk. No one really went there since there are so many broken appliances and space for the boy to train and use. He didn't need much, just a shelter over his head. He did eventually make a home out of the 2 mini buses. He had no idea how they managed to wash up on the beach. That just happened to be side by side. He had melted off the walls between the buses and welded them together with scrap metal, and removed all the seats and created a decently sized place to live in. That and the fact that his home was currently surrounded by so much junk that no one would even suspect that someone lived there. With his knowledge, Midoriya was able to fix one of the phones that someone had thrown away easily. Seriously, he just had to replace the cracked screen and fix the battery, while grumbling about waste and its effects on the environment. He also made his own equipment for fighting. He had a pair of goggles that allowed him to zoom in and give him better vision, and an air filter voice-changing mask. He didn't want to bring too much equipment, in case it weighed him down, but he did have a knife he hid in his belt. He wore a green hoodie that someone had trashed. Seriously, stop trashing perfectly good stuff. Black tights and matching black combat boots. He had also had a belt with his knife in a compartment where he kept his phone, some painkillers, antisep, and a small roll of bandages just in case he needed to patch himself up. He stood up from where he was sitting on the ground, grinning. He was ready to face the world and what it is about to throw at him. Okay, guys. Lord baby Jesus, that was like 14 minutes and 1 freaking chapter. Oh, Lord baby Jesus. Well, anyways, guys. Lord baby Jesus. Should I read a second chapter? Yes, because, we stand for that. We stand for that. Okay, I thought I had to, cut the video or something. Oh my god. Anyways, continuing. Identity. Aizawa sighed for his 10th time that week as he laid on his desk, his phone in his right hand as he rubbed his eyes. You okay? You've kept citing this week, and I'm pretty sure it's Not from those 3 remaining students in your homeroom class, Snipe asked him, patting the underground hero on the back. I'm fine. I'm fine. A villain got a flash bomb in my face last night, and my eyes hurt. Aizawa groaned, reaching out for his free hand for the flask of coffee on his desk. It was a common knowledge that because of his quirk, his eyes were a lot more sensitive, and even normal bright lights were unbearable for him after a while. He gulped it down, feeling the warm liquid trickle down his throat. It's just, you know that relatively new Vigelante, right? Green hoodie, goggles, mask. Yeah, the green one's called Izuki, right? Aizawa blinked. Wait, when was he named? Snipe took out his phone before showing Aizawa the article from that morning. You just had a class, so I didn't expect you to see it, but here. Aizawa took the phone, quickly reading through the article. It showed how a guy was saved from a bunch of gangsters, and when he asked for a name, the Vigilante had hummed, before quickly saying his name was Izuki. He quickly handed the phone back to the sniper. According to Chisaki, he had received a package that was addressed to me from him. Hisashi went out to buy something, and he had agreed to pick it up on the way for me. Aizawa sighed again. As a thank you, the cockatoo blonde poked his head into the teacher's lounge. He carefully placed the box on the table and immediately noticed the please handle with Kara sign written all over it. Do you think it's malicious? Snipe asked, leaning over the hero's shoulders. There was a card attached to it, and Aizawa opened it. Dear Detective Blah. I don't know how to say that correctly. Okay, guys, y'all let me know. I know you probably have a good reason to throw this out, but please can you pass this to Eraserhead for me? I think he works in UA, but the security system is scary, and I don't want to break into a hero school, and I have no idea where he lives. I promise you it's nothing harmful. Izuki. Ooh, a secret admirer! Minna popped up behind them. What is it? It looks like a kid's handwriting, so I doubt it can be that bad. Worst case, it's probably a prank or something. Snipe shrugged. If anything goes wrong, I am blaming you. Aizawa grumbled, opening the box to reveal a pair of goggles. It looked exactly like his, and everyone looked at the gift, and it wasn't until Aizawa picked it up when he realized that there was a thin lens among the eyepiece. Aizawa blinked, handling the goggles with care. It didn't seem dangerous, but who knew that the Vigilante wanted with him? That's so sweet! Yamada grinned, snatching the goggles and putting it in his eyes. Look, we match! He started posing, and one of his regular poses resulted in him staring directly into a lamp that was on the desk. Hey, it's dim. There was another piece of paper in the box, and confused, Aizawa unfolded it. Dear Eraserhead, I kind of made these goggles for you. I tried to make it as close as possible to yours, but I have no idea how close I was in my attempt. It shouldn't be that much different from your regular ones, but I added lenses that I made. It should help you protect your eyesight in case you get into a situation when your opponent has smoke screen or pepper spray. Trust me, pepper spray sucks. It also adjusts the amount of light that enters your eyes, so if you get hit by a flash grenade again, you should be fine. You should be able to see properly no matter how bright or how dark it is. I don't think you saw me yesterday, but I saw you struggling a bit after you got hit with a flash grenade, so I thought this was an appropriate time to give it to you. Also, I believe your eyes are more sensitive since your quirk lies in your eyes, so you should take care of them. Izuki. P.S. Thanks for saving my life 6 years ago. Midnight just shook the voice hero and handed the goggles back to Aizawa. Honestly, this Suzuki kid seems like a nice kid. You seen him 6 years ago? Aizawa shook his head. No idea. 6 years is a long time. I don't really know. He stared at the goggles, contemplated if he wanted to try them or not. Yamada was perfectly fine wearing them, and he had to admit he was a bit curious. Try them on, she urged. And Aizawa swapped his goggles for newer ones. It was a perfect fit. Aizawa leaned back on his chair for once, and for once, he was able to stare at the ceiling without the headache that would start in the back of his head, as the lens automatically darkened to reduce the amount of light entering his eyes. Okay, guys, this is where deku means all might, so don't cry, please. Continuing. Excuse me, All Might, a 13-year-old boy with green hair ran up to the number one hero, who had just saved a bunch of other people from a particularly nasty electric villain. Without his gear, it was almost impossible to deduce that Midori was Suzuki. Can I ask a question? Why not, my boy? Ask away, All Might replied, grinning. Do you think a quirkless person could be a hero? Honestly, I don't think so. Many of the villains with quirks can be especially dangerous, even for those with suitable quirks to protect themselves. So, The hero stopped talking, really realizing that the boy had disappeared. It was a surprise to see a boy around his age, surrounded by a bunch of guys wearing the same uniform. Hey, freak! The poor purple-haired... Oh, guys, sorry, this kind of time skips. So, now we're at, our setting is basically where we're, at a certain purple-haired character that is not Mineta, and that is not in UA, but deserves to be in UA, and has purple eyes, and that fought, Izuku. You guys know who this man is? Y'all, if y'all watch BHMA, y'all should know who this man is. Anyways, continuing. But if y'all don't get it, how dare you? Okay, anyways, continuing. It was surprised to see a boy around his age, surrounded by a bunch of guys wearing the same uniform. Hey, freak! The poor purple-haired boy was punched in the gut, and he winced. His school badge was thrown against the wall. He was punched in the face, but he managed to bring out his arms to protect himself. A group of boys continued to laugh and tease him, as the boy tried to defend himself, and not a single word except cries of pain and more swears and profanities rained down on him. Villainous quirk, you can't be a hero, freak. We all know those words. Hey! Midori couldn't take it anymore, and it reminded him of Kachan and his friends, his father, his teachers. Leave him alone. Crap, isn't that the new Vigelante? The really fast and agile one? One of the boys trembled, holding back from throwing up another punch. Yeah, shit, let's go. Yeah, let's go. Shinso looked upwards, but he immediately felt nauseous as his leg gave away. He couldn't remember hitting the ground. Midoriya managed to catch the boy before he collapsed, though he was completely out of it. Damn it, it's always bullies, Midoriya grumbled, carefully adjusting the taller boy so that he could carry him without worsening his injuries. Stealing a glance at the bag on the ground, Midoriya picked it out before pretty much carrying him out of the alley. Midoriya crouched on a rooftop, surveying the area. He had knocked out several criminals, but then the police had to come after him, so he had to escape onto a rooftop to hide. The boy was saved, but still unconscious. Okay, guys, give me a second. I just had a mental weird thing going on. But Midoriya had pretty much figured it out. He had a broken rib and seemed to be suffering from malnutrition. He heard footsteps behind him, and he swirled around, staring directly at Eraserhead. Hi? He asked uncertainly. He didn't know if Eraserhead was going to attack him or not, but he honestly didn't want to fight his favorite hero. Eraserhead had moved up from second to first. He wondered if his former idol even knew Eraserhead existed, since he was fighting practically quirkless. Midoriya knew that he himself was pretty good at fighting, but still, All-Might's words stung. Izuki, huh? Eraserhead replied, walking closer to Vigilante. Did you get my gift? He asked. Yeah. Eraserhead sighed, tapping his goggles. How do you even know the size? I observed. The Vigilante rubbed his arm sheepishly. I kind of looked up to you, Eraserhead. Oh. Eraserhead looked at Izuki. I have to admit, I'm impressed that you know of me, and that you even knew where I was working at. Izuki snorted. You practically wear the same thing to UA. It'd be impossible not to tell. Eraserhead sighed. How do you know I have to, do you know I have to catch you, right? This time, Izuki was alarmed. What? I haven't even done anything to break any laws. Every time I fight someone, it's in self-defense, and I never use a quirk in all those fights. Blinking, Eraserhead sighed again and released his scarf. I suppose that's true, though I should still bring you in. The media is leaving you as a vigilante. Izuki snapped. I don't care what the media says. Society is shit. They just want everything to be flashy, so more people watch. They just trample others underfoot if they don't have a quirk. That makes a quirk that makes bright lights and explosions. If they don't have all that crap. He didn't know why. He started feeling bad for the kid. What makes you say so? I saved a kid who was getting bullied. They said he had a villainous quirk, as if quirks decide who's good and who's bad. It's how you see it. Izuki grumbled. Aizawa had to agree. He himself had been subjected to the same taunts when he was in UA, but at least he had Yamada and Kayama who had his back. It seemed like, however, Izuki had encountered, he was all alone. Do you think a person with a non-offensive quirk can be a hero? Izuki looked right at Aizawa. He was about to answer, but they were distracted by a loud bang. Trying to find the source of the sound, Eraserhead looked away. When he finally looked back, Izuki was nowhere to be seen. A piece of paper was left in his wake. He decided to pick it up. Oh, my words! Let me reread that. Sucked. Izuki was nowhere to be seen. A piece of paper was left in his wake. He picked it up. Think about my question. Followed by a series of numbers. Eraserhead pocketed the paper before he set out to find the villains that had disrupted his conversation. Who the hell was this kid? Let me see. 28 minutes, y'all. I would love to keep reading this, but I don't want to keep this like an hour. So these are only 2 chapters, and it's already like 28 minutes. And I might have to start posting like every day, guys, if I have really nothing to do. Because I love the story and I want to continue reading it like nonstop. But anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed, guys. Like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more amazing videos, guys. I will go ahead and show you what my card looks like at the end of this video, because I already made a video for that. Enjoy.